High school reunions. Should you go or should you not go? Hey, it's Andre Saucy, and I just wanted to answer a quick question. Should you go or should you not go to your high school reunion? You see, when I had my first high school reunion, I was kind of afraid to go because I had quite a few problems at that time. I didn't have many friends in high school. I actually just had a few, and I didn't stay in contact with any of them. And of course, at that point in life, I had no life, no social life and no other life. I was basically very unsuccessful, and that made me not want to go to that reunion, because I was afraid that my ex-schoolmates would see me as a loser, as someone who doesn't do well in life, as someone who hasn't achieved anything yet. But I went anyway. And in this video, I'm actually going to give you some reasons why you should go too. You see, one of my fears was that no one would remember me because I only had a few friends back then and I didn't stay in touch with them. And here's the thing, if no one remembers you at your high school reunion, it only means that you're basically starting afresh. You have no baggage from the past. So you shouldn't have any worries that people would remember the bad things about you that happened in high school if they don't even remember you, So you're basically starting afresh, and you don't have to worry that you would stand there alone, because you can always join the friends that you did hang out with and start chatting with them, and, then go with the flow. And maybe you can even reconnect with other schoolmates, through these friends that you did hang out with. If they start talking with other schoolmates, you can join the conversation. And you might actually find out that these people have grown up and that you might have more in common now than you had before. And you might actually get some new contacts, maybe even new friends. But even if you don't get new friends, just getting new contacts is fine, because you never know when you might need them. So the next thing that worried me was that I didn't know what to talk about. I didn't talk with my schoolmates much in high school, and I didn't know what I'd be talking about at a reunion. So if you have this worry as well, here's the solution. You can always start with broad topics like their job, family status, kids, and then go deeper on topics that excite you the most. Or if you notice that their eyes light up when you mention something, when you mention their kids, for example, then talk about that subject, Most people would be happy to talk about the stuff that they like, and they would really appreciate someone who is willing to listen to them talk. And if you're the one that listens, well, you might actually build some rapport with them and become friends later. So just ask questions, and when appropriate, talk about your experience with that topic. And just be interested in these people, in their lives, and you will be just fine. You will do great. Now, there was one more thing that I was afraid of, and this was the fact that I had no life. Why would I go to a place full of people who actually got lives and have grown up and moved on? And I didn't. I actually regressed, My life got worse as years went by because of my social anxiety. And the longer that I had the anxiety, the more afraid I was to live my life. And that's why I hadn't achieved anything worth talking about. So I was afraid that people would notice this. But here's the thing. No matter how insignificant your life is, you still do have a life. Maybe you think that it's boring or non-existent, but I'm positive that there is at least something that you like doing. And you could be talking about that, And that's why I recommend you to prepare yourself beforehand. Give yourself 10 minutes, and think about the things that you like doing. And make a list of topics that you would feel comfortable talking about, okay? If you like photography, put it on the list and then talk about photography. If you've got an interesting job, talk about that. Or if your job is not that special, there might be a person at work that is a particularly interesting person and you could talk about them, Or maybe you like gardening and you could talk about that. Just make a list of topics that you can choose from and you can talk about freely. And if someone asks you the question about your love life, and you're still single, just say that you're single right now, Don't feel ashamed because of that. You don't have to explain yourself and you don't need to feel embarrassed because there is nothing wrong with being single. You might feel bad about it because you might want that someone special in your life. But in general, there is nothing wrong with being single. You just haven't met the right one yet, And believe me, some of these married people actually wish they weren't married. So they might even envy you for that, So don't worry about you being single if you're single. Just be willing to admit it because there is nothing shameful about it. So a quick answer to the question, should you go or should you not, is yes, you should go. Just go and have fun, And maybe, just maybe, you could actually get some new friends because a high school reunion can be a great opportunity to meet new friends. Maybe you were not friends with your schoolmates in the past, but that doesn't mean that you can't be now. Maybe they have changed so much that you would actually want to be friends with them. You see, it's always good to have friends. And even if you don't befriend anyone, you might still build some connections that you might find handy later on in life. So, if you're afraid to go to your high school reunion, just feel the fear and go do it anyway. And you don't have to spend the whole evening with your ex-schoolmates. If you don't like it, just go for an hour or two and see where it goes from there. If you like it, you can always stay longer, and if you don't, you can just excuse yourself and go home, and that's it. So, just go to your high school reunion and try to have fun. Now, hopefully this was helpful to you. Hopefully I answered some of your questions and objections. And if you liked this video, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button. This way you won't miss any new videos I make for you. And of course, I also have a blog where you can get more information on overcoming social anxiety. A blog where I actually share my tips and strategies with you for overcoming social anxiety, So, if you want to and you have the time, feel free to check it out. The link should be somewhere around here, and if it's not clickable for some reason, if you're using some sort of mobile device, just go to your favorite browser and type in socialanxietyadvice.com and you will get there. So, hopefully you enjoyed this video and I actually hope that I see you in one of the next ones as well. Until then, bye bye.